right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Bitter breeze. Even though the wind is finally easing some tonight, Tuesday morning wind chills are frigid. The change is coming in about 36 hours.
Vandals do big damage to a little library.
It's messed up. It's not the right thing to do.
Tonight, a North County woman's plea for help to restock the shelf. Our top story, tensions run high as a controversial resolution on immigration fails in St. Charles County.
A large crowd packed tonight's meeting. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. The measure failed with a 3-3 tie. One of its sponsors was not there to cast a vote. Laura Barcheski is live in St. Charles with how this proposal was different from the one proposed 2 weeks ago, Laura.
It really was a lot different, Mike and Kelly, and while the resolution wording changed quite a bit, organizations against it still say this misrepresents their program and will make all Latin immigrants feel unwelcome if passed. The St. Charles County Council chambers were overflowing with people ready to speak on a highly controversial Resolution 2308.
A resolution opposing the importation of illegal migrants into the region.
The resolution sponsor, Joe Brazel, says he believes the St. Charles County Council should support the lawsuits challenging the humanitarian parole program, which is designed to bring immigrants from Venezuela, Cuba, Haiti, and Nicaragua to the U.S.
It didn't go through the act of Congress, and it was signed, and so these 20 states are suing the federal government, the Homeland Security, on this particular issue. And the other argument is so they're not legal immigrants. They're basically, in the eyes of 20 attorney generals, they're illegal immigrants.
County Council members Mike Elam and Nancy Schneider disagree with the resolution. Elam says he hates the way this resolution paints St. Charles County.
Resolutions like this, as you can see in this room, does not represent a positive aspect. We need to be a positive voice in the region.
State Senator Eigel says he supports Brazel and the resolution.
My policy on illegal immigrants has always been clear. Don't let any more illegal immigrants in, and send the illegal immigrants that are already here back over the border.
The previous resolution specifically named the International Institute and their part in initiating a section of this program for St. Louis called the Latino Outreach Initiative. While it no longer names them, they believe this still misrepresents their efforts.
It still makes inferences or references to the fact that this program is providing, is actually bringing illegal migrants into the region, which is incorrect.
While the resolution did fail in a tied 3-3 vote, one of the council members was not here tonight. He was also one of the bill's sponsors. It's important to note that a resolution here is basically just a statement of opposition. It's not at all like a bill which becomes law and requires enforcement. Reporting live in St. Charles, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
A chilly November evening across St. Louis. In fact, tonight could be the coldest night of the season. Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is here to tell us how cold it will be when you head out the door in the morning. Scott.
Tell you what, some of us are going to be in the teens, and those of us that aren't will likely feel like it early tomorrow morning for sure. We still have some clouds around St. Louis right now. They're beginning to break up from the north and west. Flights today in and out of Lambert, not as bad as you might think. Some delays, but we didn't note a lot of cancellations today. We're down to 36 degrees in St. Louis. First patch of clouds sliding off to our east right now. Wind chill, there's still a breeze. Our wind chill's at 27, but look at your wind chills farther north of St. Louis. Even though the winds are settling down some tonight, and yes, there still will be a light breeze early tomorrow morning, but the winds won't be as strong as they have been. Right now, they're north-northwest 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow morning, 5 to 10 miles per hour. That will still put our wind chills in the mid-teens in St. Louis. We'll actually drop into the 20s in town. Outlying areas will fall back into the teens. Less wind overnight into tomorrow. Wednesday's pick day of the week, but Thursday into Friday, rain returns. More on that in a few minutes, Mike.
All right, Scott. Developing tonight, St. Louis police investigating a deadly and fiery crash in North City. The one-car wreck happened near the intersection of Hall Street and Adelaide. We're told one person in the car died. Their name has not yet been released. No word yet on what led to that crash.
Tonight, an 11-year-old Metro East boy is being treated at a St. Louis hospital after he was hit by a car while riding his bike. The crash happened near the intersection of Godfrey Road and Celesta Street in Godfrey just after 4 this afternoon. We are told the driver had a green light and remained on the scene.
Tonight, 2 men and a teen remain in custody after a manager was shot and killed outside a Hazelwood hotel.
It happened over the weekend. New tonight, Robert Townsend reports it's the latest gun violence in the community that has neighbors and leaders concerned.
In the past 2 months, several shootings have popped off in Hazelwood in North St. Louis County. In a single day on October 2nd, police say 70 gunshots were fired outside this QT gas station near 270 and North Lindbergh. Police say an 18-year-old was killed during a fight among teenagers. Last weekend, a man was shot after an argument at a Phillips 66 across the street from that business. And Saturday night, investigators say manager Victor Folks asked 2 men to leave this hotel off Dunn Road when he was shot in his leg. Folks died at a hospital.
It's rapid fire, like a very large rifle, just shots and shots and shots and shots.
Amanda Wilder lives behind the hotel where the latest shooting happened.
It's frustrating because it's very quiet here.
My heart goes out to the family of the gentleman who was killed, and it's senseless.
St. Louis County Council Chair Rita Days is concerned about the gun violence happening in her District 1 area. She was stunned to hear that one of the suspects in the hotel homicide is once again a juvenile.
I'm understanding that some older people are using these young people to commit some of these crimes, which is unacceptable.
Police say on any given night, 6 to 8 officers patrol the streets of Hazelwood. So what would you like to see?
More police presence and less guns on the street, less shootings.
Meantime, Councilwoman Days tells me she would like to see community leaders here in Hazelwood meet and address the gun violence.
In terms of a meeting of the minds, if you will. And I think that clearly is going to be in order because this is going to get out of control.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
And neighbors say they are willing to attend a possible town hall meeting and further share their concerns about the violence in Hazelwood.
New tonight, St. Louis County will have to pay up to a former councilman. Tim Fitch has reached a $600,000 settlement. County Executive Sam Page had argued the former police chief shouldn't receive his police pension while earning a pension as a county council member. The settlement includes $339,000 in back pension payments.
Would have just followed their own ordinances and not fought this in the courts, it would have saved the taxpayers approximately $300,000.
Page's office had no comment beyond the settlement agreement, which does state it's not an admission of liability by any party.
A free library box that draws neighborhood children in a Florissant neighborhood has been broken into and all of its books destroyed. New tonight, Annie Kroll talked with disappointed young readers and the woman who started it, Annie.
Well, she's known as Miss Mary to the kids in her neighborhood. Mary Sullivan began this free library outside her home 5 years ago. She's a retired critical care nurse, now facing her own medical challenges. Upset after their down-the-street library was damaged, I asked some of the neighborhood children why they love stopping by Miss Mary's house so much.
Because I like books, and because they're fun, and because I like them.
Saving time and money probably.
Mary Sullivan moved back to this house in Florissant after living in California for 35 years. After unpacking, her first goal 5 years ago was to get a free library up and running. This is just a sample of the handwritten notes thanking Mary for giving them books and supplying the popular stories like Harry Potter or even self-esteem books they request. Inheriting her childhood home, Mary says connecting with these neighborhood students makes her day, something much needed after this former emergency nurse became the patient herself.
December 20th of last year, I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, early onset, and these kids keep me going. I can't tell you, they make me smile so much. They're just so kind and sweet, and they're mad. They're mad about this library getting messed up.
Monday morning, Mary saw all of her books thrown on the ground, ruined by the overnight rain. Mary has had to temporarily close her doors because of the incident until after the holidays.
That was sad and horrible.
It's a little sad, and whoever did it, I don't know why, because I come here a lot and stuff like that, but yeah, it's just messed up.
A friend of Mary's has now installed 4 security cameras to keep a better eye on the handmade box full of books.
I'm not playing. I'm not playing.
Mary says another free library had its glass shattered recently in Florissant. If you would like to donate relatively new books to Mary's free little library, you can email Mary. She'll come and pick them up right from your door. We've included her email in this story at ksdk.com. Mike and Kelly.
All right, thank you, Annie. A cold, dark night at Busch Stadium, but tonight Cardinal Nation is still buzzing about the sunny days ahead for next season.
Yeah, the Cardinals need pitching, and today they got a big arm. Sports director Frank Cusimano joins us now with more on the signing of All-Star Sonny Gray. Frank?
Well, Mike and Kelly, you can't doubt the aggressive nature of the Cardinals so far. It's not even December, and they've already spent $100 million on starting pitching. The first 2 signings last week of Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson, well, they didn't move the needle much, but today's signing should. His name is Sonny Gray, and he and the Cardinals have agreed on a 3-year deal worth $75 million. He's 34 years old, and among qualified starters last season, the 8 homers he gave up were the lowest in baseball. This 3-time All-Star, who was outstanding down the stretch last season, think about it. He was second in the American League Cy Young voting, and he wanted to be a Cardinal.
How the fans support you, how the fans are hard on you, how the fans expect you to win, expect greatness, which is something that, as a player, as a competitor, that's something that you want. Especially for me, where I am in my career is I want to win.
You know, in his outing against the Cardinals this season, he went 7, struck out 8, and got the win. And John Mozeliak said then, kind of like this guy.
And you were telling me off camera, you don't think the Cardinals are done.
No, baseball winter meetings next week in Nashville. I think the next move for the Cardinals will be some bullpen help, and maybe they trade some players for another starting pitcher.
He seems very hungry, like he's ready to win.
And he's a tremendous talker, which means a lot to a sportscaster. He needs sound bites. We're going to go right to his locker after every game.
All right, Frank, thanks.
All right.
All right. The voice of an angel, some would say. Ruby Lee is moving on to the live shows on NBC's The Voice. Coach Reba McEntire picked the 16-year-old country singer from Foley, Missouri, in tonight's playoff round. The live shows begin next week, right here on 5 on your side.
Finally freed. Tonight, the emotional homecomings for those held by Hamas for weeks, plus the new agreement to bring more hostages home. Buyer beware if you're doing your holiday shopping online.
The problem is, you don't know what these companies are doing with your data.
Tonight, the real cost of convenience and how to protect yourself.
December starts Friday, and it begins with wet weather, courtesy of that system out in the Pacific right now, when that rain spreads into our area.
Developing tonight, Israel and Hamas have agreed to extend a temporary ceasefire for an additional 48 hours. It comes after a 4th day of emotional reunions between freed hostages and their families. The extension will allow the swap of another 20 women and children kidnapped by Hamas for 60 Israeli-held Palestinian prisoners. President Biden is promising to keep pressing for the release of the remaining 9 American hostages while pushing for more humanitarian aid into Gaza.
Tonight, St. Louis police are investigating a string of armed robberies, all happening in Midtown and the Central West End within an hour of each other. The first happened around 9 Saturday night near Olive and North Grand, just steps from the Fox Theater. About 30 minutes later, a man held up at gunpoint on Maryland near the Cathedral Basilica. And then minutes later, just a few blocks away, another man was robbed on North Boyle. While police are still trying to figure out if they are all connected, they say 4 to 5 suspects were involved in each robbery, and anyone with information is asked to call police.
Well, we're almost to the finish line of retail's most important 5-day shopping stretch. There's still about 90 minutes left to Cyber Monday, so Mike, you have a few more minutes to get my gift. According to Adobe Analytics, consumers are expected to spend a record $12 billion online today. That's up from 6% last year. Holiday shopping online doesn't stop after tonight.
And as you surf through tons of different sites buying those perfect gifts, you might be surprised to learn your money may not be the only thing companies are getting. Tonight, Consumer Reports warns some companies are also getting a hold of your personal data and then selling it. Shopping for the holidays has never been easier. Just grab your phone and with a few clicks and swipes, you can find the perfect presents for your loved ones. But Consumer Reports investigative reporter Brian Vines warns sometimes there's a trade-off for that convenience.
If you have an account with an e-tailer or if you use apps and sites that require logging in, some companies might keep files on you and even sell your information to data brokers, which are businesses that collect your personal data and sell it to other parties.
So what's the danger in that?
The problem is you don't know what these companies are doing with your data. Some might have location data on you, which could hypothetically be used to see where you worship, where you protest, or who else you spend your time with.
But limiting the use of personal data and trying to take back control of it isn't easy. It's often a manual process that's tedious and time-consuming unless you use something called an authorized agent.
Several states have passed laws that allow consumers to designate a third party to make data requests on their behalf, like Incogni, Mine, Yorba, and even Consumer Reports.
Consumer Reports Permission Slip is a new free app that provides information on how more than 100 companies use your personal information and lets you request that they stop selling it or that they delete it.
Companies typically have 45 days to respond to opt-out requests. Some take even longer.
With these new tools in hand, you and your data can feel safer shopping around this holiday season.
And you probably only need to sign up for one privacy helper, but there's no real downside to using multiple services other than the subscription costs. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with that chilly weather first forecast. This is the kind of weather that Kelly just loves.
I am
and
cheering,
I do not like it
Scotty.
all.
Yeah,
cheering.
We had the cold temperatures this morning and that gusty breeze. Most of the day sunshine, then the clouds rolled in late this afternoon, just in time for the sunset around St. Louis. We did manage to get into the mid-40s today for highs. We will not get there tomorrow. Look at the sundog tonight. Yes, that's the sun below the horizon. This is St. Paul out in St. Charles County. Catherine sent this to us on our Weather Watchers Facebook group as the sun interacting with those ice crystals in the clouds. Temperatures right now, mostly low to mid-30s around the area. Still a patch of clouds right over parts of the metro into the metro east, but that area of cloud cover is scooting away, and overnight tonight will become mainly clear. Outlying areas down into the teens, low to mid-20s in town. We're thinking 24. That'll be the coldest it's been in St. Louis in a while. And then we still have a breeze tomorrow morning. No, it's not as strong as what we were dealing with today or yesterday, but even with temperatures in the upper teens and low 20s, your wind chills can be around 10 degrees up in Litchfield, 13 in Alton, 18 in Crystal City. For St. Louis, our wind chills will creep back above freezing as we head into the early afternoon hours. But temperatures are going to struggle tomorrow to get much above 39 or 40 degrees. Maybe west and southwest of St. Louis into Illinois, you'll be stuck in the 30s for sure. It is going to be a bright day tomorrow, and there's much less wind. Our next weather maker is that system out in the Pacific. It eventually is going to work its way towards us. That doesn't happen until Thursday. So Wednesday is the pick day of the week. We will warm it up. We're back into the mid-50s. If you have decorations you want to put outside or have some work to do outside, Wednesday's your day. Thursday, the rain's pushing in. We're still in the lower 50s for highs. This is going to be a good rainmaker across much of the region, especially southern Missouri, southern Illinois, where some spots could see more than an inch of rain perhaps. It lasts into Friday morning, and during the afternoon Friday will be pulling away from us, and cooler temperatures will slip in for Friday evening. Not cold enough that any of this would fall in the form of snow. Heaviest rain, again, to the southeast of St. Louis, but isolated amounts over an inch are possible. Most of us are probably going to get a good half inch of rain, which we desperately need. Over 8 inches for the year. below average, and that drought has expanded to cover much of the metro St. Louis area. So we need the rain. We're not getting it tomorrow, and if we were getting anything from the sky tomorrow, it wouldn't be rain. With temperatures starting out in the teens and lower 20s, only around 40 for the high despite the sun, 56 your pick day on Wednesday. That should be the warmest day, at least through the weekend.
You'll like that day at least.
That'll be better.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, thanks. And I have old bones. What do you want
Oh
from me?
my goodness. All right, sports is next with Frank.
Hit and run with Coach Drinkwitz, more with Sonny Gray, and some thoughts on what could be next for the St. Louis Cardinals.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
You want an opening day starter, you got one. Sonny Gray had a sub-3 earned run average and a strikeout per inning. And you know, at the end of the season, they had this thing called the Cy Young Award. He finished second. So of all the pitchers in the American League, Sonny Gray was the second best. Gray doesn't give up homers. He takes the ball every fifth day. He's arguably the best fielding pitcher in baseball. He is as competitive as anybody, and he's always trying to get better.
I've learned and I've grown so much throughout those experiences. I mean, the best way to learn and truly get better at things is to go through it and to experience, and then to come out the other side and say, you know what, I went through the ringer and I came out a better person.
The Cardinals will have one of the most experienced / old rotations in baseball. Steven Matz, 32, Sonny Gray, 34, Miles Michaelis, 35, Kyle Gibson, 36, and Lance Lynn, 37. As you can see, the Cardinals have gotten their 3 starters. They may not be done, but I think the bullpen has to be addressed. Remember the line by the Hall of Famer Bob Lemon: the 2 most important things in life are good friends and a good bullpen. By the way, for a sportscaster, the 2 most important things in life are a meteorologist who doesn't go too long and a producer who cuts them off when they do. The Bears and Vikings in Monday Night Football. 6 turnovers in this game. 1 completion won the game. Justin Fields to DJ Moore for 36 yards right there. And Cairo Santos, who hit a 30-yarder. Bears win 12-10. On Mondays, we often play hit and run with a sports celebrity, and Eli Drinkwitz qualifies. He's the captain of the ship who just cruised to a 10-2 regular season. Their next destination is a really nice bowl game, but Eli took an excursion to do a little hit and run first. You are an athletic director. You can hire any football coach to be your coach for the next 5 years. Who would you take?
I'd probably hire Kirby Smart.
Your football hero growing up.
Troy Aikman.
The meanest thing you've said to Cody Schrader.
I can't say it, I'll get in trouble.
What phone call or text has meant the most to you in the last 48 hours?
Well, that's I think the one that's impressed my family the most is when Coach Belichick texted me this morning.
What bit of advice has your wife given you that's actually helped you as a football coach?
Yeah, quit cussing on TV at the officials.
At what point in the Luther Burden recruitment did you know he was going to be a Tiger?
When he put the hat on his head, that was really when I knew.
No football in this world, you'd be doing what?
Motivational speaker.
When a Mizzou football player finishes his career playing for Eli Drinkwitz, what would you want him to say?
That he chased 2 dreams to the highest level, that he got the most out of his football experience, but he also developed a purpose in life outside of the game so that when the game's taken from him, he can be a positive contributor to society.
And imagine the difference in the way we perceive him right now. I mean, at the beginning of the season, he was on the hot seat, and now he's one of the hot coaches in America.
Right.
So we're happy to have Eli Drinkwitz here.
Peach Bowl, maybe? Cotton Bowl?
Well, it'd be great to have the Cotton Bowl with Texas or with Penn State. Could be the Peach Bowl with Tulane, which is not as sexy, but it's still a New Year's Day bowl game.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean Scott, by the way. I meant other meteorologists.
Oh,
Scott
of course.
always goes, has a lot of time.
Thanks, Frank.
All right, once again, 5 on Your Side has teamed up with the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition for the Little Wishes campaign. There are more than 4,000 wishes needed to be granted to area kids affected by foster care. You can attend the in-person shopping day Saturday, December 2nd. That's this Saturday at Circle of Knowledge in Sunset Hills, or go to ksdk.com/Little Wishes. We'll be right back. Tomorrow is Giving Tuesday, and tonight the FBI is warning about scammers trying to take advantage of your goodwill.
You should not respond to unsolicited calls and emails for donations. Another red flag is requests for cash, gift cards, or wire transfers. You should always confirm that the charity is registered through the IRS, and do not click on website links. Look up the charities for yourself to see if they're legit.
And we've made it very easy for you to give to local reputable charities on Giving Tuesday. Just text the word GIVING to 314-425-5355, and we will send you the list. Well, 2024 is going to be going to the dogs with a new calendar from the TSA. It features 15 of the more than 1,000 explosive detection dogs that work in our nation's airports, but not St. Louis Airport. You can download it and print it for free at the TSA's website.
And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
And start your day with Today in St. Louis starting at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow and a great night.